ever reach me were some guys who were preacher fans. The only dudes who could ever teach me were some guys who were preacher fans. Yes, they were. They were. Oh, yes, they were. That's a podcast theme right there.
All right, it is time to go to church with Preacher Men, the Preacher Podcast. I am Alex.
I'm Pete.
Did you forget who you were for a second,
No, I thought you were going to do more of a bit before.
Well, that can happen to you when you're down in the tombs for too long. You forget yourself. You forget your face. You forget everything you love. You just want the fight. That's all you want. Pete, the fight. The never-ending fight.
Now, I'm wondering if you had a place where you grew up that you called the Tombs.
No, I didn't. Did you?
Yeah. Underneath RIT, it has all these these crazy underground tunnels and stuff like that. We called them the Tombs.
No. What did you do there? Did you fight or what went down?
Well, I mean, it was just more like you got dared to go down there, you know. Like we would sneak out at night and then go over there and be like, yeah, I dare you to go down there.
No, I mean, maybe we did in Port Washington. I don't know, but I wasn't cool.
Oh, okay.
That's where I read a bunch of comics instead.
Smart.
Well, let's talk about the latest episode of Preacher. To give you guys a bit of a recap before we get into it, Jesse Custer has returned to his old stomping grounds of Angelville, where he used to be a carnival barker-style little dude who would bring people into a place called the Tombs, where everybody would fight. Those get restarted in the present day. The last episode in order to bump up the money that is I don't know why I'm having trouble saying this, money that is flowing into Angelville, and specifically to Grandma, who surprisingly doesn't show up this episode at all.
Thank God. She was so scary.
She's very scary. The other thing that's going on is they discover that Cassidy, Jesse's friend, kind of, is a vampire and ended up throwing him into the Tombs in order to fight folks. And meanwhile, Tulip is tracking down a voodoo lady named Madame Gowdy, who...
to try to lift the curse.
Try to lift the curse on Jesse. She got attacked by a bunch of dudes last episode. Found out Madame Gowdy's kind of young.
Yeah.
Kind of a hot lady.
Yeah. Not the old... decrepit lady she wants you to believe.
Exactly. And the other thing that has happened previously is there's a dude named the Saint of Killers who's an unstoppable killing machine. He was sent to hell. There you go.
And we start off back in hell.
Sure do.
And who do we see? Our old boy, the Saint of Killers.
Yeah, so the Saint of Killers is taken in to have a little chatty-do with Satan and the Angel of Death.
Oh, my God. Can we talk about this, please?
That's why I brought it up, Pete.
Oh, that office was amazing.
Yes.
I loved also the devil, the way he talked, the kind of swarmy but cool. I thought this was amazing casting, and just this whole shot of it was like a fucking creepier Castle Grayskull type thing he walked into. And the fire the whole time underneath. I loved this set, this scene, the whole thing that they did here was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was great. So they make a deal with the Saint. Yeah, whatever, Pete.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up, Pete.
You got to talk about stuff.
No, you're right. I don't really have anything to add. Yeah. They set up that they want to make a deal with him. They want to get him out of hell, but first he's got to pay a little bit of a punishment. So the Angel of Death ends up whipping him a bunch. We can actually cut to the last scene of the episode where they finish up whipping him, tell him he's not going to get any guns. He is going to be sent back to Earth. He's got to bring 2 people back to Satan that Satan wants in order to get his guns back and get back on Earth. We don't find out who those 2 people are.
Who do you think they are? I'll tell you right now who I think they are.
Well, I will say it's not Jesse, because specifically the Saint of Killer says, I want to kill a preacher. And Satan's like, well, that sounds great, but that's not who we're going to have you do.
Yeah.
Who do you think it is?
It's Hitler and Assface.
Oh,
Arseface.
Because they escaped. Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really seen them mix it up yet. Also, Arseface.
Hitler's running around Earth right now. It's a scary time to be alive.
Sure is.
Yeah.
I'm not. What would you do if you saw Hitler at your Starbucks?
I would fucking beat the shit out of him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, maybe it's just a guy named Hitler who looks like Hitler?
No, even if you're just dressing up like Hitler, you deserve to get beat the shit out of him.
That's fair.
Yeah. Your Honor,
I think you're probably right.
he looks exactly
the other
like
thing
Hitler.
that happens that's totally gross is we get to see the Saint of Killer's back where he's got whipped, and they whipped him down to his rib cage.
It was
It's
so
gross.
Oh, they also had that fun moment where even in hell, the elevator has like horrible like music. It was really funny.
It's great. The show is so over the top, so
It's so
insane.
amazing.
I'm excited to see the Saint of Killers back in the mix. Like you said, I'm excited to see Arseface and Hitler back in the
Also,
mix too.
really fun Lady Death. Fun choice there. Just
Yeah.
attractive lady.
Yeah, just a silent lady who likes to whip things.
Yeah.
I am really curious to see how this all comes together by the end of the season because
man.
as much as I like the stuff that's going on in Angelville, it has felt very slow building in a weird way. Like it's just sort of staying in this one location. But it feels like things have to come to a head and pretty soon. And
Also, the
change.
fact that like the devil knows that God is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is crazy. I'm glad that we found that out as well.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that happens at the beginning and the end of the episode. Let's jump into the literal meat of the episode. We first get to see a bunch of Jesse's past when he was a kid. We get to see it peppered throughout, but we get to see him working at the tombs at their height, riling up the crowd. He definitely seems to be very conflicted about what's going on, but that contrasts with the tombs in the present, much sparser.
Yeah.
We get to watch Cassidy fight a dude and win, but Jesse's still not totally into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a good reason.
Yeah.
And then we also see Tulip, who is, like, how the hell do I break this spell? Which is so heartwarming that she's fighting. Her man saved her life, and she's fighting to save his. I think it's beautiful. That's what love is.
Well, let's get back to the Tulip stuff for a second. I want to talk about sort of the through line of the present with Jesse Custer and Cassidy. So Cassidy will not lay down and die is basically his MO this episode. He fights a dude, but he won't leave without Tulip. He keeps coming back for Tulip, even when Jesse chops him up into pieces
That
and
was
tries
so
to mail
amazing.
him.
He goes to like one of those mailing places, like a UPS store, and puts a bunch of packing peanuts in there and just cuts them up to mail him away to safety.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, he knows that's the only way he can get out of this.
Right. But Cassidy, unfortunately, is too stubborn. He keeps coming back, and he keeps coming back over and over again. Even with that, he bursts out of the crate, leaking blood everywhere, comes back to Angelville to fight in the tombs, and specifically this time to fight Jesse. We'll come back to this moment in a second because it's a big deal. But at the same time, as you were mentioning, Tulip is at Madame Gowdy's. The move that she does is so badass, but so ridiculously over the top, even for the show. She blasts a circle, cartoon style, in the floor, jumps up, and falls down.
That's how she escapes
through the floor.
It's absolutely amazing. And there was a great line where the madam lady goes, "You crazy bitch," and she's like, "Ain't I though?" Oh, what an amazing line!
It's great. It's
Yeah.
totally great. And what we
Tulip
find out
is just so magical.
Yeah. Now, Madame Gowdy thinks that Tulip is going to kill her, but she's not. Tulip actually wants information because it turns out that Madame Gowdy has it out for Jesse, and we find out why.
Yeah.
Because they were childhood sweethearts.
Yeah, but
Pete.
Jesse knew that if he got, started making out with her and hook up with, it would just be bad for her. So to keep her safe, he kind of put up a wall and was like, "No, we can't ever get together."
Yeah. He does say that. One thing I do want to mention, it becomes pretty clear this episode, Jesse's got a type. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay,
I
fine.
mean, he does.
Whatever. That's not important.
It is important.
It's not important.
Yeah, if we want, Pete, the whole point of this podcast is we're going to set Jesse up with somebody.
No.
We got to know what his
That's
type
not
is.
the point of this podcast.
Excuse me, here at preacherdate.com.
Well, that's not the name of this podcast.
That is the name of this podcast. And if you guys want to be set up with a preacher, date a preacher, please write us at
No, I'm not gonna set people up with a
preacherdate.com/dates.
preacher.
What?
Yeah, I'm not
Why
gonna-
not?
Because.
Preachers deserve love too.
All right,
Pete.
Seinfeld.
It was a date. It was a preacher date. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
I
So-
do like the line "motherless goat humpers" that
Yes.
Jesse gets to say a couple times.
That is pretty wonderful. We get to find out that, at least from Madame Gowdy's perspective, what happened was her brother went to Jesse to fight him at the tombs, and Jesse mercilessly killed him.
Right, but it turns out that wasn't the full story.
Well, that's what we find out later. Jesse's perspective on the story is that Jesse was forced to kill him, or he was going to kill Jesse.
Right.
And then Jody actually killed him.
Yeah.
So, and picked up, well, Jody didn't actually kill him, but Jody celebrated it in a way that Jesse did not. Jesse was grief-stricken at that point.
Yeah, he was like, oh, shit, what have I done? And
Well,
Jody
let me ask you a
was the
question.
one.
Which account do you believe?
I believe the one that kind of fits with what we know about Jesse.
Sure.
That he probably didn't want to kill him, but he had to fight for his life, so he kind of...
I do wonder if there's something somewhere in between, because at the same time, they do talk about how this place changes Jesse. Angelville changes him. It makes him worse. And I think he's fighting against that in the present. But I do wonder if what happened back in the day is somewhere between those two accounts. That maybe there was a part of Jesse that enjoyed it, that was in the thrill of the kill and the thrill of the fight. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Okay.
No? You don't think so?
No.
All right, cool.
I believe Jesse's a good person.
Okay, so Tulip comes back at the last second and finds Jesse fighting Cassidy, and Jesse is essentially forced to kill kind of Cassidy, shove a stake at him, and tells Tulip to her face, "You have to get out of here. Do you understand? Do you understand?"
Yeah.
What'd you think about this moment, Pete?
It was really fucking intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, I hope Tulip knows that he doesn't mean that.
And she did.
Yep.
Because she came back and they're going to fight this. And she finds out that what her job is she needs to kill Grandma. That's going to affect Jesse, though, in a weird way, right? Like, even though he hates these people and thinks they're evil, they are kind of his family.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
fuck
he
that,
does
dude.
care about them.
No, he does not care about Grandma.
I think there's a part of him that doesn't let himself kill them. Because he probably could have 1,000,000 times over, and he did not.
No, there's no way, because he knows he's bound by this thing. And before that, it was like he was always kind of trapped there.
I don't know. I don't know if he was
He
totally
killed
trapped.
his parents, man. Like, he was
I
scared
know. I think he was
shitless.
scared, but again, I think what this episode goes to lengths to show us is there's a part of him that enjoys being there, enjoys the thrill of being the carnival barker for the tombs, of talking everything up, of getting everybody riled up. I think there is a bloodlust that gets into him that he can't quite control, and that's what shows up there.
Now, since we've both read the comic,
Sure.
when you saw the lighter for the first time, were you like, oh shit?
I've forgotten what happens. What happens with the lighter?
Well,
You can tell.
Okay,
Justin's not here.
that's Jesse's dad's lighter.
Ooh.
And there was like a whole war story that goes with that lighter.
right.
The fact
Okay.
that like Jody had it in the beginning of the ep, and then later in the ep, Jesse has it.
Oh, interesting.
And we
So
don't
there's a
see
story
how
there,
that
yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Well, we haven't really seen how Jesse escapes yet, right?
Yeah.
How he leaves Angelville. That's certainly something that we'll see later in the season. What else should we talk about with the episode? What else went on that you want to discuss, Pete?
I just think it was the whole thing with Jesse and Cassidy was kind of insane, of like Cassidy just not realizing where he is and how much trouble he's in. And then when Jesse's kind of like, yo, I'm trying to save your life. And he's like, I'm trying to save your lady's life. I mean, they've got a lot of issues they need to work out.
I agree. I think Jesse, in a weird way, is being a much better friend to Cassidy at this point than Cassidy is being to Jesse. And I think, again, we know this from the comics, but Cassidy is a dick. Like, he's actually not a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He is not the hero of the story. It's funny, I was...
And the comic does a good job of that, too, where you kind of go back and forth on him until you find out the final reveal.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, shit.
Joseph Gilgood is so charming on the show and so perfect as Cassidy. I understand this, but it was really interesting to look at fans' Twitter feeds during the last episode of Preacher. People like serious crushes on Cassidy, and they're like, "Ooh, I kind of ship Cassidy and Tulip. I want them to be together." But and I get that because Ruth Negga is awesome and Joseph Gilgood is awesome and Cassidy and Tulip are phenomenal characters, but knowing even the show, let alone the comic book, they should not be together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop shipping them, dudes. Cut it out.
Now, there was a great line where Jesse said to Tulip, like, are we good? And she was like, only one way to find out. Now I was like, oh, that's...
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I believe in miracles. Where you from?
Yeah, I just think that this is just an amazing show and keeps getting better every episode. I'm so looking forward to every ep and having so much fun. It's just such a fantastic show.
I think I'm a little less than you. I still think I love the show. I do think it's in a little bit of a rut right now with the Angelville storyline. I want to see things amp up a bit because
amp up. People are fighting to the death in tombs.
I know how crazy that sounds.
We just saw the devil. Jesus
I know.
got
The
the
show
dot.
has set the bar so high with insanity,
Yeah,
though,
it's true.
that to see it kind of in this one place dealing with this one thing for so long feels like a little bit of a step down in the crazy level to me, and I want to see it step up a little bit more.
What did you think about that part where, like, Tulip was in the road and she was kind of like lost a little bit, and then just God just drove right by?
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely cements for me. I was a little on the fence whether that was God or another fake God, but seeing him ride by, essentially keeping tabs on her, made me think, yeah, that is God.
Yep.
That definitely is. He's checking in on his mission, his plan, how things are going. Let's talk about who was on the back of his bike, though. To me, I couldn't quite tell because I didn't pause it. That looked like the Angel of Death to me.
What?
Yeah.
For real?
Or at least it was another girl. It was not the girl from the last episode.
Yeah, it was just a girl.
But
I thought.
I don't know. I thought maybe it was the Angel of Death riding with him.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
Well, if that is, do you think somebody's going to die? Do you think somebody in our core trio is going to be dead by the end of the season?
Don't you say things like that.
Who do you think?
That's awful.
Not Tulip because she died. Do you think Jesse's going to die?
Dude, stop.
I don't know. Again, we're getting into comic stuff.
Stop killing people.
He might die by the end of the season.
Oh, man.
If we want to deal with insanity level, he could die.
Ugh.
We've already established people can go to hell and come back. So
That's true.
I think that would be an interesting place to leave the season, particularly because he's metaphorically gone down to hell by working in the tombs, by working in Angelville.
Yeah.
To see him redeem himself in some way and die at the end of that would change the dynamic of the show going to season 4 dramatically, and I think that would be really interesting.
Also, I can't wait to get more Arseface and Hitler.
It's so weird to say that. Oh, I can't wait for more Hitler. That'll be great. Well, anyway, head down to the Starbucks and check out Hitler and other stuff. If you want to support the show and other shows we do, patreon.com/Comic Book Club. Also, we do a live show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at the Pit Loft in New York. Please come by. We'll chat about Preacher. Pete, what else do you want to plug?
Friend us on Facebook so you get to know about the amazing guests we have on our show.
Follow us on Twitter at Comic Book Live. Also, we set up a new Twitter account at Men Preacher, where we're going to post up photos and videos and other things from the show. So please go follow us there as well. Check out comicbookclublive.com for the podcast more, and we'll see you at church.